What do you get if you combine pixel art adventuring with an express train derailed by a murder most foul? Locomotive, that's what. And I cannot wait to find out if everyone aboard the vessel actually has one. Because this much is certain. Lady Unterwald did not die of natural causes. Nor did she die in vain, because now we have a sweet point and click adventure on our hands. Even if we are, for now, limited to the demo. But there's plenty of fun to be had still, and to further sweeten the deal, also plenty of quality of life inclusions, like, say, a hotspot toggle and proper controller support. It's even genuinely fun and funny, believe it or not, with some quality voice acting and a lot of that sweet, sweet nonsense. That last part also holds true for my next pick, in which I believe you play the part of an eraser. While I am not the biggest fan of the amnesia trope, in panels, it's fine. Mostly because it takes a backseat to the gameplay and the rather amusing concept. Never imagined a Metroidvania-esque game with an eraser as its protagonist might be this much fun, or at all, yet somehow it is. Throw in the ability to shuffle parts of the level layout around by rearranging panels, and you've got quite the puzzle platformer. With collectibles around every corner and an in-game map to keep track of it all, the inclusion of save points, which doubles as fast travel points, well, they just make sense. There's also literal writing on the wall, which is where any and all story beats appear, each new discovery prompting a bit of internal monologuing from an eraser. I know, it's silly, but it works. A super chill experience too, unlike the old school RPG that's up next. Cyclopean? Cyclopean? Cyclopean. Let's go with that. At first glance, this turn-based RPG seems to rely heavily on combat, but there's a lot more to it than simply clicking attack until either you or your adversary runs out of hit points. A surprising amount, actually, including the ability to convince an otherwise deadly foe to join your ranks. Or how about simply trying to talk your way out of an encounter? That's also an option. I can't help but wonder if the fact that my character was a professor had anything to do with his silver tongue. Yeah, I kinda doubt it. Professor Peter Montgomery Gilman did certainly have a way with words, though. Too bad not all were evenly interested in listening, leading to more than a little bloodshed, and before long, his own too. He had a good run. Even did some first person dungeon crawling in pitch black darkness, because who needs a torch? Certainly not the next protagonist for whom everything is nice and bright. Less than 15 seconds after starting Perennial, I was forced to kill the protagonist in order to progress. Weird? Maybe a little, although I feel that is par for the course here. At least, as far as what little story we're treated to early on, and how it's presented. Everything just has that pixelated low fidelity look, including the cutscenes, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't absolutely love it. Sometimes less is truly more, even if it requires a lot of skill to pull off something like this. Everything was handled with such a high degree of care too, as I'm honestly struggling to find anything bad to say about my time spent exploring this mysterious landscape. The promise of being able to revisit areas later just makes it all even more alluring, as a lot can end up easily missed. So what if most of them are mere collectible trinkets? Oh, speaking of, how do you feel about photography? Where is this? Why are you here? And more importantly, who are you even? Well, in Seclusa, you're a photographer on a mission to take pictures of East African wildlife. Elephants, zebras, and I think that's it for the demo, but is it any fun? Absolutely. Provided you have a smidge of patience, as the animals tend to take their sweet time before showing. The immersion factor is relatively high too, in that you have a fair amount of control over the settings for each shot, even if certain liberties are still taken. Want to get up close and personal? Sure, why not? Immersion at the cost of some realism. You do also have the option to retreat to the lodge for some jigsawing, cat petting, plant watering, or simply sleeping until dawn. One of the most relaxing video games I've played in quite a while, this one, and like my other picks in the video, I'm very hopeful regarding its upcoming release. Thank you very much for watching.